Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? This last Scorpio full moon eclipse that we just had certainly packed a punch. I thought I was gonna get through it unscathed. I was most certainly wrong. I'm curious for those of you how you experienced the Scorpio full moon eclipse. Did anyone have anything major happen, or did you guys kind of skate by? Let me know in the live chat. Suiterbug, Chris, good to see you, Chris. Say hi to Alicia for me, and Dennis. Hello, Stephanie. This one is a little tender. This is a little bit of a tender video. I'm going to try not to cry. I really am. I think I might be able to do it. We'll see. Yeah, this one is I'm sharing it because I feel like what transpired for me is an important lesson for a lot of you out there, and one that I think many face when you're going through a lot of your healing, you're choosing to face a lot of your big challenges and move through them despite your fears, despite like all of the comforts you'd rather be in, willing to risk some things to really go for it. You are going to notice that these changes are going to happen for you as well. And so I'm gonna talk about that. But before I do, hello, Nicole. Hello, Guide Coaching. Good to see you. Before I get into it, there's two things I want to say. One, the Forbidden Journey Retreat, September 28th through October 1st, is almost 50% sold out. So if you are wanting to come, if you were looking for a ticket and you haven't received an email yet, let me know, because I am having this very weird thing happening with my emails where none of my emails, sometimes even my Gmail, isn't going out to my clients. So I don't know what's going on. But if you did want to apply and you haven't got your email yet, let me know. Just email me and we'll get you in. And I'm just super excited. It's going to be a great trip and for all of you. And I know that as the summer unfolds even more, it's just going to build, because I've got my ayahuasca journey this weekend coming up, which I know is going to be transformational. It's what set off all of the transformations last year that are coming, that already actually did come. And I know now there's new ones coming. The other one I want to say is in 1 week, I don't know the exact date, but I believe it's next week it's launching. I am a speaker at the Magic, Healing, and Manifestation Summit. The tickets are free if you'd like to join. I'm one of 20 speakers. Link is in the description below. You can sign up. I highly suggest. This was a really fun little conversation that I had with the promoter is Nikki. Her name is Nikki as well. And it was fun because she asked me questions most people don't ask me. And so I liked it. I think you guys would actually enjoy it. And I think there's some really good speakers there. So it's all about quantum creation and not having it to be so hard, whatever it is that you're trying to create, how to jump through some of the timeline hoops. Okay, bypass some of the timeline hoops. So link for that is also in the description below. Okay, Rogue, hello, Sarah, remember your mission. Oh, Matthew, hello, good to see you. Terry, hi, Happily Humbled, so good to see you. Okay, guys. Again, did any of you guys let me know? Did the eclipse, was it a bit of a doozy? Just big energies for you? Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember last week's podcast. If you did watch it with Mary Ducina, we talked about the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And I asked her before she did the readings for all the signs, I said, Mary, tell me I'm not going to cry on my birthday this year, because this lunar eclipse literally happened like less than 24 hours before my birthday. It was like 12 hours for my birthday, because it happened 40 minutes from my sun, from conjuncting my sun. The moon did it. Not the moon, sorry, the sun did. So I was a little concerned because the Taurus lunar eclipse in November last year on the 8th really hit me hard too, because it was at almost the same degree. It was at 16 degrees. This one was at 14 degrees, 57 minutes. So it was almost at 15 degrees, and my sun is at 15 degrees. And so I had a little bit of concern that I was going to get shaken up again, because good old Uranus is right near my sun too. And this whole thing was just being squared by, like, the nodes were squared by Pluto, Black Moon Lilith was squaring the moon. I was hoping I wasn't going to cry on my birthday. And sadly, I had one of the saddest birthdays I've ever had in my entire life. And this entire full moon lunar eclipse, like, I think I nailed the title. I truly nailed the title, because it literally came true for me. The podcast last week, I said this lunar Scorpio eclipse is going to be about uncovering false masks. And in many ways that happened. And so for me, this Taurus Scorpio axis, which we're finally getting away from, I'm going to be very happy to get away from this Scorpio lunar eclipse, not Scorpio lunar eclipse, the Scorpio Taurus axis, in that as a Cancer rising, it's hitting my 11th house, which is of like long-term visions, friends, networking, social circles, all that kind of stuff. And of course, my 5th house, which is about creativity, it's about dating, it's about inner child healing. Well, for sure, this one was all about something was getting released for me in my own inner child. A very deep karmic wound got activated over this weekend. And it had to do with my current friend group circle. And this is something that I've been going through since last year. I have been very observant of my friends and the people I have surrounded myself with, because when you choose to face some very challenging obstacles in your life that are there to help you grow, okay? These obstacles were there to help me grow. I was always meant to push through them, but I had been avoiding them for years because the fear was so great. I was scared that I was going to lose everything that I had been building, and that everything I had been envisioning for my dreams and my future was going to get taken away from me. And so I kept putting it off. And last year I was like, I can't do it anymore. I have to go through this. And so I did, but as a result, it caused me extreme amounts of stress in my life. My mental health was suffering because I didn't know how to handle such high levels of anxiety. And as a result, I needed to lean on people in my life for support. And as someone who is used to supporting herself, I'm pretty self-sufficient. I was raised that way. One of my big lessons in this lifetime is learning how to be supported by others. And so I've been calling on people to help support me. And I've been telling them, I need you, and I need you here for me. I need you to be here for me. And some of my friends have really stepped up. Like, I know for sure and without a shadow of a doubt who my real friends have been to support me and be there for me and would ride or die. Like, I call them, they're there. And even if I didn't call them, they'd somehow find their way there. But some people have had to go. And what I've learned is I need to learn how to manage my relationships, because some people have made it into my inner circle that didn't earn their way in there. And that was my fault. And it's because I have a tendency to want to go all in when it comes to loving someone, even if it's my friends. And it's just part of who I am. And it can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be to my detriment. And what's really interesting is tomorrow night's podcast, you guys, for those of you who are literally watching this before tomorrow night's podcast, you are going to see how all of this was read to me in a reading that was unlike a reading I've ever had done before. And it's on tomorrow night's podcast because it's about learning how to uncover your divine gifts, your soul personality, but also learning like what contracts and what imprints and illusions are tied into you karmically through your relationships that need to be released in order for you to continue moving forward in the manner that is your destiny's calling on you to. And so this it blows my mind because I recorded this podcast that's coming out tomorrow on Tuesday last week. So well before any of this took place on my birthday. And on my birthday, I decided that I just really wanted a few friends with me. There were a couple friends that told me they weren't able to make it because of some very reasonable reasons. But there were some friends who told me, absolutely, we're going to be there. I can't wait. Up until literally the day of, people still confirming, yeah, I can't wait. And what I chose to do for my birthday required a certain amount of people, and I had to pick and choose who I wanted to be there because there's only a certain limit of space. And I just had this feeling. I even told some of my friends, please just show up for me. Like, I just really want you to show up for me. See, I'm going to cry. Out of all the friends I invited, one person showed up for me. And it was the most heartbreaking birthday I've ever experienced. And it's a lot to do with everything I've been going through over the last year and recognizing that this is what this eclipse axis has been trying to show me. You know, like, this has to stop. This cannot continue on for what you need in your future and what you're building. You can't have people around you who don't know how to support you and show up for you in the ways that you do for them. And so it's crazy because all of these people, like being stood up on your birthday is, I don't know, it sucks. It's not a good feeling. And it's crazy because this has never happened to me before. And I appreciate the lesson that is coming through because thanks to a couple of very good friends yesterday who I had some great heart-to-heart conversations with, helped me see the bigger picture of why this is all happening. And what's so interesting and what you're going to hear on tomorrow night's podcast is I literally talked about how one of the ways I'm learning how to manage my relationships is understanding who is in my inner circle and that there are circles around that. And not everyone has to be in my inner circle. And then there's going to be kinds of friends who are going to be my so close and personal, and they're my ride or dies. I know I'll show up for them and I know they're going to show up for me. And those friends get the full potency of what I have to offer. But then there's going to be friends who are going to be maybe a little bit on the outer skirts of that inner circle, and they're going to be in a different circle and they'll get some of the potency from me. And then there's going to be ones that are even further out, and I'll maybe just see them every now and then. And if we connect, they won't get the same energy that they may have got had they been in my inner circle and all of that. Well, one of my friends that was in my inner circle last year got demoted out to one of the other circles. I had been kind of playing with seeing is this person really going to show up with me? We've had multiple conversations about this in person. And every time we have the conversation, this person tells me, thank you for telling me, thank you for sharing. I needed to hear this, all this stuff, and still just doesn't know how to show up. And literally made my birthday about her. And at 6:30 in the evening, which is the sun's still out, told me she was wiped from her day and could we celebrate my birthday when she had more energy? And I'm like, what? totally just stood me up, like literally should have been on her way to meet me. And that moment, it really hit me. And I thought, you know what? This doesn't even, you don't even get to belong in even of these outer circles anymore. Like you're kicked out into the galaxy somewhere, like floating out into outer space. I don't know, but it's not my galaxy anymore. And it blows my mind because I don't understand this behavior. I don't understand how people can receive so much love and support from someone and then on one day not be able to show and offer that. And I started to realize that I just don't think that where they're at in their journey, they're able to even have the capacity to support me in where I'm at in my journey. And it's not a judgment, it's just a fact. I really just don't think that some of these people that I thought were my friends are at a capacity to support me. And so what I've been realizing is why this eclipse came in with such a harsh bitch slap to me on my birthday. Like it was a birthday bitch slap, was so that I would really wake up and understand that I need to make some very swift changes, which I had already been planning. Like I already had some ideas of what I wanted to do. And this just kind of kicked my butt. And I was like, all right, that's getting done on Monday, which I did do what I needed to do today on Monday, to start changing things. But realizing, when you start to do your healing, and when you start to not just do your healing, but you start activating that part of you that really wants to engage life at that level. When you start engaging your life at that level where, you are so much more full, you are bringing so much more light, you are really willing to risk things that you weren't really willing to risk before because you didn't have the courage, you didn't have the strength, you didn't have the growth yet. And now you do. You are literally becoming larger than the life you were, okay, whether like months ago, years ago, whatever it may be. And that sort of person that you're becoming does require a different kind of person to support you. And so what I'm realizing is I need people who are on my level. And as horrible as that might sound to some people, it's so true. I just don't think that what I need, or maybe I just have a different concept of what friendship is. I don't know, but it's just like I need people who are healed enough and know how to support and be there for me and show up in all the ways that I want, because I'm willing to give that back. And this is what's going to happen for you guys, is that you're going to notice there's going to be some shifts in some of your relationships. Now, some people are growing with me. I've got some friends who are growing with me, and they are so supportive and they're amazing. And they have earned their spot in my inner circle. And the reason why I say they've earned my spot is because what you're going to see in tomorrow's podcast is I have a tendency. One is the one I told you earlier is like I have this tendency to go all in, even when it doesn't necessarily benefit me. And one of my biggest lessons in this lifetime is to learn how to be supported as much as I support others. I mean, like that, it couldn't have been driven home more precisely this weekend than it did. And so, but I also have in my heart chakra, I have an imprint of, not in my heart chakra, in my second chakra, I have an illusion of actions speak louder than words. And I'm still trying to understand this illusion a little bit more, because I truly believe that actions speak louder than words. I mean, it's really easy to say some nice things and then not follow it up with your actions. But I think it's bigger than that. Like there's something else in there that I need to understand, because the second chakra is the creative center. It is where your abundance codes are. It's your ability to grow, right? Grow bigger. It's the womb space. And so it's all about expansion. It's all about expansion and change and variety. Like that's the sacral chakra. And what I'm going through, I realized I do need people to show up when with their words need to be their bond, and it needs to be activated through their actions. And I think that there's a part of me that maybe looks to like, will almost like be waiting to see if people are going to like actually show up with their actions. I don't know, but it's one of those wounds that when it gets hit like it did on Saturday on my birthday, because I came home and thankfully, like, I had a good time. My girlfriend and I, we had a great time together. We caught up. It was great. We had a couple drinks. We played golf, like top golf. That's what I wanted to do for my birthday. And, but I came home and the reality of it really hit me. And I just got home and my inner child was so sad. Like she was so heartbroken. And I was like, I just got to cry. And I cried and I cried and the heaviest, like ugly cry probably. I don't know. It was dark in my room. I cried myself to sleep. And then I woke up in the middle of the night at like 2:30 and I was just reminded by like the evening. And I was like, oh my God. And I just cried for 2.5 more hours until probably 5 o'clock in the morning when I was so tired from crying. I just fell asleep. And I realized like it shuts down my creative center. It shuts, like, I'm so tuned in, like my creativity and my flow is so dependent on like my mood and how supported I feel, which again, like is like in that lower back region, like the kidneys, like the lower back. And I wasn't supported. And so when I'm not supported, it really screws up my flow, and it screws up my desire to want to grow. Like I got into these really weird headspaces of like, what's the point? Like, why bother like trying? And of course, it only took a few hours to get over that, but I realized I can't allow for this to happen in my life anymore. I can't allow people to fuck me up like this, like, and when I say that, I mean like allow for situations like this to continue, like to occur again in the future. And that means I got to switch out my friends. I need a clean slate. And that's what I think this eclipse was doing, was giving me this clean slate. And I really, how do I say this? For everything that I have in my future visions, the dreams that I want to execute, the ones I know I'm going to execute, that is so important to me. My mission, my service in this world, it's not even just my service, it's my happiness, it's my joy. I love what I do. When I work with clients and I see that shift and there's like this healing moment that comes through, or like this breakthrough that happens, like it gives me so much like momentum and joy, and it just fills my heart. My whole soul fills up. And I'm like, I cannot afford to have people who diminish that section of me because of like stupid shit like this. And so this is where we get called up and saying, okay, like you've got to create boundaries to make sure that you're keeping your dreams protected, that you're keeping your future visions protected, because it doesn't, like, what I realize is like my relationships with people are so important to me. I mean, as they should be to all of us. It's how we grow. And it's like, I love to love people. I do. I just love to love people, and the people who are close to me, like they know that. Like I love to just be immersed in whether it's a friendship or an intimate partnership, whatever it might be. Like I love that. I just love that. And in order for me to manage that so that it doesn't take me down, I realize I've got to be way pickier and much more stringent on how quickly I let people closer to my inner circle. And that in many ways, what I'm realizing, and many of you may already be in practice of, or realizing that maybe you need to put into practice, is understanding, like there's got to be, it's almost like they've got to move through certain levels that earn their way to that spot. People need to prove themselves. And that's what I never did. I never made someone prove themselves with me. You know, I was like, as soon as I met them, if I like them and like we hit it off, we were having fun. Like I love just, you know, laughing with people or having a good time. If it's a good vibe, I'm like, yay. And I'm all about it. But it's not working out for me. And I think this is what was one of my big lessons. And unfortunately, my worry that I would cry on my birthday definitely came through with this eclipse. It hit me hard. It hit me really hard. But I'm grateful for it. I am grateful for it. And here's the thing. Never would I ever have thought that my one birthday wish would be for new friends. But that is what it is, because we did uncover some false masks there, thanks to Black Moon Lilith. She definitely uncovered some false masks, but also false masks within myself, you know, like realizing, you know what, I've been too lenient. I've been making excuses for people where I shouldn't have allowed excuses to be made. Too many chances is what happens. And what really, instead of giving someone too many chances, what I need is just let them prove themselves from the beginning. So there doesn't need to be all these chances where I'm the one who takes the hit. So it was a hard one for me. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who sent me birthday wishes, whether it's through Alchemy, you DM'd me on Instagram, or you sent me an email. Like, I just want to say thank you so much, because you have no idea how much that actually meant to me this year. It really did. So thank you so much. And so that is a big thing. And what I want to say too is I did get a message around this that we are going through some major shifts. And I've talked about this. The nodes are changing into Libra and Aries in July 17th. And I've said this several times now on this channel, that our relationships with self and others are going to be highlighted coming into the next 18 months, and how we are in relationship. And of course, a lot of things are going to get released around who our relationships are with, the kind of needs that you might have, the way you interact in your relationships, your communication in your relationships is going to be changing and shifting, so that the ones that are willing to grow will grow with you, and maybe the ones that aren't are going to be maybe either a push pause, or maybe relegated out further out into the circles, like away from your inner circle. I don't know. Or maybe completely kicked out into the galaxy, like one of my friends just got kicked out. And it's like, you know, it's so important to have standards, because if you truly want to achieve if you really want to achieve what's written for you in your own stars that you are part of, okay, you created this mapping within your own stars. As you heal, your standards should rise. As you grow, your standards should rise and grow with you. And as a result, things in your life are going to have to shift. If someone's not showing up for you in the way that you need, it just may be like I have now observed that some people just aren't at the capacity to do that. they're just not able to. And it's because you might be growing at a faster rate, and they're just not on that same trajectory. Doesn't mean their journey's any less than yours. It's a different trajectory. And I think we have to also recognize when something is holding us back, or someone is holding us back, or certain behaviors in our relationships are holding us back and not allowing us to actually not even just set sail. It's like take off into the sky. Like, cause this is where a lot of you are getting ready to move, is like you're going into higher heights. And so understanding that is really important. So yeah, I just, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, there's the little wounded part of me who's like, well, next year I'm just not even going to bother to celebrate my birthday. That way I won't be disappointed. But the better part of me is like, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to do that. But we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. That's most certainly not going to be the case. But it's, it's hard. It's hard when you are the type of person that gives all of yourself. And I also do have to manage my expectations of people. And I know that's on me. And I can't have the same expectations of people that I have of myself, because maybe that's just not where they're at. But especially for all you healers out there, if you're a healer, you're going to go through this. It's something that I've been struggling with a lot throughout my life. And there's been a lot of shifts and changes that have happened, and all for the good. But I think Jupiter is about to move into Taurus, which would be my 11th house as a Cancer rising. Jupiter is going to be expanding my friends and my social circle and all of that. And if I step up to the plate to meet Jupiter there. And so I believe that all of this has happened because there is a lot of growth coming my way there. But I have to make some changes too on how I, see my relationships with others, how I'm going to show up in those relationships, because I have a responsibility too, to also make sure that I'm not overgiving, that I'm not the one choosing to just be blind. Like, well, you're going to hear in the podcast tomorrow night, love is blind. Like that's a thing of mine. And even in friendships, and it's just like, I will just, again, it's like, I just want to love. It's the little girl in me. I've always been that way. It's come up in a lot of my inner child sessions when I do Akashic readings with my own healers. She's just this joyous, happy-go-lucky, like I want to love up on you. And I don't want to take that part away from me, but I got to be more responsible on how I give it out. So again, thank you guys for being here. It's a little hard to share this story because it sucks. It does suck. It's, yeah. Next year will be better. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Yes, Cormac, can only thrive from here on. So, guys, I am so excited for this year. I am so excited. I'm just going to continue moving forward. Not going to let anything like this take me down, for sure. I mean, I gave it one day to cry and that was good. I got all the emotional release out. It was necessary. But I am super excited about the Forbidden Journey retreat in September. For those of you who are thinking about coming, I'd love to see you there. And my girlfriend who's flying in from New Zealand to help me facilitate it is someone that I met at my yoga teachers training in 2008, 15 years ago, when all of this big journey for me really kicked off. 2008 was my big kickoff year where I started to explore myself. I took my 1 year sabbatical. I quit my job and I traveled the world, and I started to find myself, so to speak, and she was there, and it's just really cool to have her. She's currently practicing with a shaman in Australia right now, and so you guys are going to be in good hands at the retreat. I promise you. You're going to get so much attention and so much support that I want to make sure of, as I'm sure you can tell from this video. So I love you guys. Again, if you want tickets, they're in the link below if you want to apply. And also don't forget the Magic Healing Manifestation Summit is next week. Free tickets for that are in the description below as well. Do check out tomorrow night's podcast. You guys are going to really love it. I really like her approach. I've never seen it done. And she hit on some things that were so accurate. I was like, she went down to the age, like the time, like what age I was when it happened and everything. And the way we did this, the way we did the reading was, I said, I need to make sure that this is going to help the audience, because I don't want them sitting in just listening to me getting a reading. I want this to like be able to reflect back to them and see that. So I made sure to do that. So I don't want you guys to think that it's just you guys sitting there, watching me get a reading. When we talk about some other things as well. So I think you guys are going to get a lot out of it. I think you're going to really like Marilyn. She's got beautiful energy and she's from Canada. I was like, oh my God, she was literally born in the same place I was, Etobicoke. So, a fellow Canadian coming on the show. And for all you Canadians in there, out in the audience right now, you may want to book a session with her because she's super cool. Okay. Lala, I can't wait to see you this weekend. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so my ayahuasca journey is this Saturday. I am super excited to be doing that with two lovely ladies who are in my alchemy program. And they, girls, I can't wait to see you. I need some good girl loving time. Like, you know what I mean. Dennis, get your mind out of the gutter there. Just some good times. And I think Mother Ayahuasca has definitely been helping me understand what is going to be coming up in this journey, or at least some intentions to put forward. But I am going to talk about that journey on next week's podcast. Now, next week's podcast, because I'm flying back on the Tuesday, I don't know I'm going to make it back in time for that podcast. So it might be on the Wednesday, just so that I'm not stressed coming back home and I have a day to recover. So next week's podcast will likely be on Wednesday, just for all of you to note that. All right. I'm so excited, Lala. Woo, can't wait. Okay, guys, have an incredible day. Thank you again for all of your support. And you know what? This girl may have cried on her birthday, but I know I'm supported and I know I'm loved and I know there's good things coming. So I love you guys. Have an incredible week and I'll see you in the live chat.